Candace Owens has a message to gender studies majors, and it is this. Hey guys, this is Isabella Moody from Resist the Mainstream. Make sure you give today's video a like, make sure you subscribe to our channel, comment down below, do it all, and let's get right into the video.
What you guys are living through is such a unique time in this country. I would say it's an awful time to be a college student. Like when I was a university student, I was a liberal. My best friend in the entire world was a conservative. Her family was conservative. I used to go out for dinners with them. Like every weekend, we'd drive out to Massachusetts because I went to school in Rhode Island, and I'd have dinners, and I would debate her dad, who was a conservative, and I'd say all the liberal things, and how could you not think that, immigrants deserve a life, whatever it was, and it was all cool. There was no name calling. There was no you're a this, you're a that. So I just want you guys to be aware of that, knowing that the experience that you guys are having in classrooms has been radically transformed since the time that I went to school. So I graduated high school in 2007, not that long ago. I'm not exactly a dinosaur, but college campuses have completely shifted. The majors that you have were not available. I was shocked going through the catalog and seeing, wow, they're just making stuff up. They're having fun. I feel like they are having fun deciding what programs to allow students to just burn their cash on. I think that's an accurate way to say it. I mean, why else would you go to school and major in something like gender studies? And I'm not saying that to discount the fact that somebody might be interested in the subject. I'm just saying, realistically, have you paused and considered, if you go to university for 4 years and you accrue debt? I'm assuming a lot of people here took out student loans. Like I took out student loans. When I was in school, it was about $35,000 a year out of state. So I'm just thinking, what kind of a person would be encouraged to go to university, to spend that kind of money, to potentially come out of university with 6 figures or close to 6 figures of debt like I had?
Already. I mean, what is a gender studies major? I mean, I don't even know what a gender studies class would look like, let alone a major. And obviously with college, there's a bunch of classes that are required in order to obtain that major. Like think about the subsects, like the classes that are required for that major. It's like feminist lesbian dance theory, which I'm pretty sure is like a legit college class. Like that's something that people pay money to learn about. How did we get here? Who created these majors and classes? Like they should be in prison, honestly, for really preying upon college students and the fact that they're so naive on all the debt that they are acquiring to take these sort of classes to earn these so-called degrees that are meaningless in the real workforce. Like, what job is going to say, I require a bachelor's degree in gender studies? Imagine, like, what do you do with that? Like, become a freaking political commentator online, cry about feminism and how men are misogynist and sexist. Like, what do you do with that? I'm genuinely asking because I don't get it. It's such a waste of time. It's such a waste of money. And when you're a college student, you have no idea what debt even means. You have no idea what you're actually signing up to do. And quite honestly, everyone in high school is just kind of told, like, oh, where are you going to college? It's like assumed that you need to attend a university because if you don't, like, you're a bum for some reason. That is stupid. You're wasting your money unless you're going for like a specific major, like, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, like all of these things that actually directly require a degree. Do not go to college. Save your money, save your time. I wish I didn't go. But in high school, that's just what you did. It wasn't like, oh, what do you plan to do after high school? It was, where are you going to college? What's your major? That's it. That's it. I mean, it's just expected these days. And it's a tragedy, but I feel like the tide is turning on this. I feel like more people are waking up to the scam that is getting a college degree, which is amazing. Praise God for that.
And not really realize that there's not really a job that you can take with that sort of a major. What is the job? What is the job? You say, I've studied, I got all A's, it's amazing, I did so great, I studied gender studies. What do you do with that degree when you go out into the real world? Seriously. I'll ask you guys a question. When, by a show of hands, who has ever been in a situation when they've been like, I really need a gender studies major here to sort this out? No one. No one ever. It's a complete and utter scam. That's what you are. You are actually actively being scammed, and you're not going to realize it until you get out into the real world and you find that actually the only job that's going to be available for somebody that takes up that sort of a major is to go right back into the ecosystem. A professor, right? A professor.
I love the word scam that Candace uses. I use it all the time when talking about colleges and universities and higher education as a whole. How come these universities are allowed to get away scamming young Americans? Seriously, how can they get away with it? Oh, right. That's because they're colluding with the government via federal student loans and all of that. A lot of people are making a lot of money off the stupidity and naiveness. I don't even know if naiveness is a word, but based off of how naive these young Americans are, and college students and people, just kids, really. I mean, when you go to college, you're still a child. Let's be real. You're a young adult, mostly a child. Is your brain fully formed? I don't think so. So it's ridiculous. These people, these universities should be held accountable for all of the brainwashing and scamming that's going on. Yes, I would say that parents need to be more involved and more educated against, or parents need to be more involved and educated about what a scam colleges are. You know, these parents that kind of want to buy into this elitist mentality. They want to brag about where their child goes to college. Meanwhile, they're drowning in student debt. Yeah, we need to change the mindset of a lot of these parents. But I think the younger generations, we get it. We kind of are like notorious for saying, oh, when am I going to use this subject in real life? Like, you know, the crap you learn in school. It's so pointless. It's so pointless. Even when you think about the main categories of subjects, like even in high school, it's like, why am I learning these? Why am I learning calculus? Why am I learning all these things that never apply to real life? Well, now take that one step further, or like 68 steps further. When you go into these crazy gender studies majors and sociology and all of this crap, all of it just keeps getting worse and worse. That's how education gets. It just keeps getting worse and worse. This is why I plan to homeschool my daughter and my kids. I do understand, though, that not everyone has the luxury to be able to do that. I'm lucky that my husband makes enough money to support this family to where I can actually stay home and homeschool my kids. So I'm very blessed for that matter. But you don't need to send your kids to college, okay? There's your blessing, parents. And maybe you're like, hey, I can't afford to homeschool my kids, but hey, you don't need to afford to send them to colleges either. There you go.
And teaching the same subject that earned Juno money to other students. I actually think that people should be outraged by that. And by the way, people are outraged by that. What ends up happening is a lot of these students go into the real world, they find that they can't take a job and they can't find a job. They can't earn any money because they're not actually creating a meaningful job. Like, they're not actually doing something that people need, right? And they learn very quickly what the free market suddenly means. Maybe the economics courses that they weren't taking, suddenly they recognize it when they get into the real world and they go, boom, now I have all this debt, I can't get a job, and I'm angry, and they're not quite sure who they should be angry at, right? And then they look at somebody like somebody that they went to high school with who didn't go to university, and instead that kid who was basically trained to believe that he was going to be a loser, because we all feel that pressure. I definitely felt that pressure. That's why I signed up for so many ridiculous student loans to go to university. Go, go, go. Even if you don't know what you want to do, sign up and just go. Yep. You'll figure it out when you get there. You got your guidance counselor telling you that. The entire society is sort of blaring to you that if you don't go to college, then you are a failure. And then there's that one kid that didn't listen to that, and maybe he went to trade school, right? And that kid has therefore no debt. He immediately started working. Maybe he fixes, I don't know, air conditionings. And now he's the person. And let me tell you something. If you live in a place like I live in Tennessee, you will pay any amount of money if your AC goes out in July or August in any of those hot months. Suddenly that guy's making six figures. He's got no debt. And then you weigh that against the people who are convinced that they're getting the education that they're supposed to be so much better than this person who have massive amounts of debt. It's a total flip-flop and it's a scam.
The video kind of cut off weird, but yeah, I mean, what Candace is saying is exactly correct. Or society kind of tells you that if you don't go to college, you're a loser. But realistically, who's the biggest loser now? You're a college student, you get out, you can't do anything with your major, and you have acquired so much debt, literally six figures worth of debt, versus someone that you went to high school with, that maybe went to a trade school and has actually made a lot of money. Who's the loser now? Don't be that loser. Don't allow your kids or grandkids to be that loser. Stop falling for the college scam, okay? Because that's precisely what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like it on your way out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.